Hey everybody, CJ here. Today I want to go over the basics of getting started with outdoorsmanship, and I figured the best place to start would be basic firecraft, and we're going to do this in stages. I'll make a series out of it. But before that, if you like the idea that anybody could get started with outdoor activities, camping, hunting, fishing, so on, then please click like and subscribe, leave comments below. I'd love to do topics you want and get back to any of the questions you have. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Alright, so this is going to be about firecraft, and we're going to do it in stages. So we're going to start off with the first basic skill you're going to need for firecraft. So firecraft is the art of creating fire, a sustainable warmth, a cooking source, and a means of staying alive while in a camping setting, a bushcraft setting, or a survival setting. We're going to start off with the most basic skill you need before you can do anything else in starting your fire, and that is feather sticking. So normally when you start off, you're going to have something like this, and you're going to take a hatchet and you're going to chop it and break it down into smaller bits, and you're going to use those bits as your starter material. But we're not going to do that because this channel is dedicated to anybody can get started without prior experience, without prior skills, and without the equipment that everybody takes for granted. So, with that being said, I'm pretty sure those starting out probably don't have one of these, or a couple of these, or even any of these. But you know what most people do have? Some of these. That's right. We're going to do this with a standard pocket knife. So normally, if you have an axe or a hatchet, or you're planning your trips, you'll take something like this, a basic piece of wood to start with. You might also decide that you want something like this. This is a pre-cut piece of wood, excellent for starting. You can buy them in bundles usually, or you might even invest in something like this. So these are pre-prepped cooked wood that you will just take, you'll break apart, and you'll make your fires with. It's real easy. I mean, starting the fire is going to be the hardest part for this one. You're going to show up at a campsite. You're not going to know what to do. You're not going to have planned out everything. You're not going to have said, hey, maybe I need to bring campfire wood. So how are you going to get a fire started? Well, you're going to walk out of your campsite into those trees and find some of these. Yep, just some sticks. And that's what you're going to use to start this with. Just any old stick laying on the ground. Now, normally you'll choose it by wood. Different woods burn better, different woods peel better. But you're not going to be able to identify most trees, most branches, most wood when you're starting out. But if it's in the woods around your vicinity, it's a good bet you can start with using that. So, here's what we're going to do. So you've got a little piece of wood. You've got your pocket knife. What you're going to do is you're going to put it on the piece of wood at a slight angle. And you're going to slowly but firmly push down. It's going to make this little curl, okay? What you're going to want to do is start making layers of these curls. So a pocket knife is not designed to be cutting like this, but you can make do. Pieces will probably flake off, they'll fall off, you'll cut it too hard, and that's fine because the curls are what's important right now. In the future, if you were doing this with more practice and a better knife and more wood, you would actually make fans. They would be large curls and fans. I can link a different video teaching you traditional fire sticking, the bushcraft style, in the link below, and you can see what your fans should look like at that point. But with this, you want to turn the wood and just create a handful of curls that you can use as starters, okay? And this is fine. You'll make piles of this, and that's what you're going to use when you start. Before you get your fire started, you're going to want a nice pile of a variety of different ones. Curls, some featherings, loose curls, larger curls. And you're going to want to practice. Get different woods, try different pocket knives. If you have an everyday carry pocket knife, sharpen it, get a feel for it, go out, get some sticks, and start practicing this. Because once you can feather stick quickly and effectively, then we'll start working on the next step, which will be creating the base for your fire. So go ahead, join me next time, and we'll cover that section. All right, everybody, so that's going to wrap up the first step. We're just going to do feather sticking practice. Sticks like this found aren't the best material. They take a lot of practice to do. It's a real pain. The different woods will flake off differently, whether they're wet, whether they're moldy, whether they dried out. If there's heavy sap or no sap, if they could be brittle. There's a lot of things that come into using sticks as your feather sticking material, but it can be done. And I'm going to use these, I'll shred them up, I'll show them in the next video, and we'll use them as our fire base. So I hope that you took something away from this. I'll link a different video to someone else teaching you traditional bushcraft feather sticking if you want to learn to do that as well. I'm not going to teach that because that's not everybody can do it. You'd have to have a proper knife, you'd have to have proper wood, you'd have to have a proper environment, and that's not what this channel is. But I do feel that if you want to learn, you should be able to find it, so I'll link someone else's video below. So if you enjoy this type of content, if you want to encourage the idea that anybody can get started with this type of thing, please like, subscribe, and continue to follow me as I go on this. Join me next time, and we'll work on building a base for the fire, and we'll move forward in Firecraft. I'll see you then.